Hello and welcome. I am Arumba. Thank you for joining me. I am playing around a bit with some stuff, and I wanted to just show you guys what I was working on because I spent quite a bit of time on this, just messing around with it, having some fun. I kind of don't like the way the combat works in Crusader Kings 2. It bothers me that when you have a poor commander, he can still use good tactics. When you have an army composition, for instance, that has a couple archers, you might do a volley tactic when you don't have very many men, and you end up just having these silly things, like the modifiers are so extreme, like 300% increased power to your heavy infantry or something, where like an entire battle can be dictated just based on how the combat dice are rolled, you know, which tactic you select. So I'm making a mod, and I know there's plenty of other mods out there that do things like this, but I just felt like teaching myself how to do it and also making it mine and the way that I like it. So I've made a very, very simple modification. Essentially what I've done is removed all combat tactics except for 3. Okay? Very simple. You have 3 tactics. They're called poor tactics, average tactics, and good tactics. I don't really care that much about the specifics of it. Like, I don't know. Maybe more people, other people might not be that way. They might like the immersion. Oh, they're doing a charge tactic or a skirmish tactic. Like, I don't really care about that personally. I want the commander to influence the battle, and a good commander is going to do good tactics. Like, whatever those are, they'll just be good. That's fine, right? So the modifiers aren't as extreme. So, for instance, good tactics gives plus 10% defense and damage to everything. Average tactics gives no modifier at all. Poor tactics gives minus 10% to everything. And if you don't have a commander, then you're doing no tactic, because there's no one at the front. Which makes sense to me. Like, the people that are in the battle are going to try to defend themselves, but they're going to be disorganized. They're going to get, they're going to have lower morale. They're going to suffer. And so it's weighted so that up to 30 martial is factored in. So a 30 martial commander has about a 90% chance of doing good tactics. They still have a chance of doing average tactics, and they're almost never going to do poor tactics. And someone who, say, has 5 martial, like my current character, King Edmund of East Anglia, he has a pretty poor chance of doing anything all that great. 64% chance he's going to have poor tactics. So what this ends up doing is it just makes combat simpler. My next step is, right now I have it set so that that little icon right there, the sword and shield, is representative of heavy infantry. Right there, you can see. And I'm gonna kind of sneak some stuff from some of the other mods that I've seen and just make it so that there's a plus, a minus, and then regular. And that's it. So like the way this goes is that, they're fighting, and also the skirmish tactic lasts for two 5-day intervals, and then after that you move into melee. So it kicks it there, charge into melee, 99.9%. And as soon as they get into melee, then they just, they have weighted chances. And I'm considering also removing the defense disadvantage when you cross a river. To me, like, let's just say that you're crossing a river, right? And you get out. I don't know. I think you'd suffer an attack modifier, attack penalty, but maybe not a defense penalty. I don't know. It bothers me a bit. So, I don't know. I'm not really planning on putting a ton of time into this. It's just something I was working on, and I figured I'd show you guys what it was. And go from there. So, the other thing I was considering is maybe modifying some of the... where's an example character who has something? This thing, combat modifiers. Like, I like the way that those just apply broad modifiers to characters, to armies. And instead of having it be dependent on rolling a dice, and picking a good tactic, I think it should just be more generalized, that a good commander with good combat modifiers will do better. I mean, because we're not talking about SWAT teams here. We're talking about 10th century peasants lined up in huge rows just stabbing each other. That's what I imagine. That's what seems to me is what happened in history. I mean, heck, in the United States Civil War, they were still lining up, British versus Americans, versus the United States, the Confederates, or whatever. You know, they'd line up in a big row with rifles and shoot each other. And that was in, like, you know, recent times. Imagine 1,000 years ago. It just doesn't make sense to me. These are peasants. They shouldn't be using brilliant it's just, yeah. So, anyway, that's what I was working on. Give me your thoughts. If you like it, great. If you don't, you can tell me that too. If you think I'm wrong, tell me that too. It's fine. I mean, maybe my information is totally off and it's a wrong idea. I'm not planning on applying this mod to any of my current playthroughs, but I might do a playthrough with this mod, you know, on it. And if you're interested, I could make this mod available to the public. I'm still working on it, but it's minor, and I like to keep things light and simple. So, anyway, thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you again in another video. See you soon.